I've been playing this game that we call business in the coaching industry for almost 8 years now. January will be 8 years. To some, I am still a rookie in this game, but to others, maybe earlier on in their journey, this video is going to be exactly what they need to hear. So today, on my 37th birthday, I'm going to give you a little gift. 37 golden nuggets of business advice that I've either learned the hard way myself over the years or that I've been given from mentors over the years that will help you avoid many of the mistakes I made along the way. And if you were to only watch one video on my channel here, this will be the one to watch because all of my other videos, up to this point anyways, have been about tactics and systems and strategies and things that are inevitably going to change over time. But this video here is going to be about the timeless principles and philosophy, my personal philosophy around building and scaling brands and around choosing to play this game that we call business. The stuff that is true now was true 100 years ago and will still be true 100 years from now as well. So you're in for a treat. Let's just dig straight in then, shall we? Number one, don't take advice from anybody who doesn't have what you want. I wanted to talk about this one first because I don't want you to waste your time with the rest of this video if I'm not the person that you should be listening to. So I've built multiple coaching businesses up to $250K per year approximately, doing on average 20 to 30K per month while optimizing for my freedom by only working 3 to 5 hours per day. If that is not what you are trying to build for yourself, if you are trying to build, I don't know, like a multi-million-dollar per month e-com brand, then please don't listen to me because myself or anybody else who has not achieved the thing that you want doesn't have the context that you need to make it applicable to your life and your business and your goals. Number two, it's going to fucking suck until it doesn't. There's something called the leverage trap in the beginning stages of building any business. And in the beginning, you have no leverage. You have no audience, you have no connections, no skills that you've mastered, not a lot of social proof, nobody knows who you are, you have no brand. So for the first 1 to 3 years of building a business, it's going to feel impossible. It's going to feel like you're slamming your head against the wall every single day and you're never breaking through. But if you don't quit, eventually you will get out of the leverage trap and you will start to build and create leverage for your business. Your audience starts to grow, you gain connections, your skills improve, you build a brand, you get recognition in your industry, in your market, and you start to get a lot more output from less input. And that is the definition of leverage. And most people don't get out of the leverage trap because they quit too soon. Because in that leverage trap, when you're stuck in those first 1 to 3 years, it's gonna feel really miserable. It's gonna fucking suck. So just know that everybody goes through that. It's normal, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel if you don't quit. Number three, it's not hard, it's just new. So this is an important reframe that I love to use to help myself and others get through the leverage trap, through that time period where everything you do really sucks. What I think is really challenging right now, what you think is really challenging right now is going to become boring in 6 months if you keep growing, if you keep progressing your skills, your knowledge, you're building your business, building your brand. The things that you're struggling with right now, the things that feel like they suck right now are going to become boring in 6, 9, 12 months down the road. And that is what has always helped me get through those hard times, is reminding myself that it might be miserable now, but it's not going to be miserable forever. It's not going to feel impossible forever. There is that light at the end of the tunnel. And one thing that I always used to preach to my fitness coaching clients is to embrace the suck. And the understanding behind that is like, if it's hard, most of the time, that means that you're on the right path. And that's a good thing. Number four, eventually, after it doesn't suck anymore, it's still going to be hard, just a different kind of hard. It shouldn't ever become easy. If it does become easy, it means that you are not growing to your full potential. It means that you have found your comfort zone. And if you're watching this video, I think that you're probably like me, and your comfort zone probably scares you. So if it ever feels easy, that should be a red flag to you that you are capable of more, that you're not living up to your potential. And when I say more doesn't necessarily mean more work. Like if your goal is freedom, and right now you're working 4 hours per day, 5 days per week, and that feels easy to you, What if instead you pushed yourself to figure out a way to only work 3 hours per day, 3 days per week, and increase your profits at the same time, right? Optimizing for more freedom. That is something that you could do to push yourself out of your comfort zone without doing more work. Number 5, if you can't look back in 12 months and think that the work that you did now or the content that you created absolutely sucked, you're not improving enough. And it kind of goes back to that old cliche of people overestimate what they can accomplish in a week, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. I think that too many people obsess over trying to perfect everything that they're doing right now, but they don't understand or they don't consider that even if they do something to 100% of their capability right now, that 3, 6, 12 months from now, what they did now is still going to suck. Or at least it should, because their skills are always going to be evolving and improving. So my suggestion to not get caught in this trap is to, right now, aim for doing 80% of your best with all the day-to-day stuff, while still long-term working towards becoming 100% of your best capability eventually, down the road, right? Knowing that you will probably never ever get there because there will always be another level that you can work up to, and that's okay. Number 6, taking responsibility will help you grow 100 times faster than any strategy, tactic, or system. I see a lot of people stay stuck because they don't take responsibility for anything in their life or especially in their business. They blame the leads, they blame the algorithm, they blame the economy. They just say, I'm not fucking good enough for the goals that I have right now. And that's okay. Taking that responsibility will set you free, right? It is okay to not be good enough right now because you can get better, right? So admit that to yourself and then get to fucking work learning the skills or becoming the person that you need to be so that you can be successful, so that you can overcome whatever roadblocks or obstacles or struggles you're facing right now. That personal responsibility will save you from every problem that you run into in business. I promise you that. Number 7, mindset only matters if it is preventing you from taking action. If you already know what to do and you're already taking action and you're moving forward, you don't have a mindset issue, so you shouldn't waste time working on your mindset. On the other hand, if you are taking action but not seeing the results that you want, it's still not a mindset issue. It is a strategy issue in that case. Mindset only matters when you are stuck doing nothing, or you're stuck doing things or getting trapped in distractions that you know are distractions, but you keep doing them anyway. Then mindset is a problem that should be addressed. But if that's not the case, don't let mindset work become a distraction and keep you from fixing the real things that actually matter, the problems that are actually broken in your business. Number 8, if you don't have absolute clarity on exactly what you want and more importantly, why you want it, you're not going to get to where you want to go. It doesn't matter what you do at that stage if you don't have clarity, because all roads are going to lead to nowhere, which is essentially what you're aiming for if you don't have clarity. But if you have clarity on exactly where you want to go, you should then, by default, have clarity on exactly what you need to do to get there, because it's literally as simple as just looking at where you want to go and reverse engineering it. What do I need to do to get to where I want to go? Simple as that. And for many coaches, I think that the majority of their problems come from a lack of clarity, which leads to distractions, shiny object syndrome, addressing false problems, mental masturbation of consuming more information, things that don't actually move the needle towards your goal to climb your mountain. But when you have clarity, it's easy to know if you're focusing on the right thing. You can simply just ask yourself, will solving this problem right in front of me bring me closer to my top of the mountain? If the answer is no, then don't worry about it and figure out what you should actually be focusing on. Number 9, keep the goal and don't get distracted along the way. So if your goal is $1 million months, awesome, man. Good for you. Keep the goal and don't get distracted with days off, friends, family, weekends, vacations, none of that lame shit. But if your goal is freedom, like it is for me, don't get distracted on that goal either, right? Don't get distracted with trying to add another zero to your monthly income that isn't going to change anything in your life. Hiring a massive team, or wanting to start a second business, or filling your calendar with calls just to make more money, or testing new opportunities whenever you get bored. Whatever your goal is, Keep the goal the goal. Number 10, your goals are probably too small and they are going to lead you to regret. I believe everybody should choose a goal to aim for that you will most likely fail at, because I talk to too many people who just try to play it safe and set reasonable goals. Reasonable, safe goals where the likelihood of achievement is very, very high, because that doesn't scare them as much. But if your goal is just to make enough money to pay your bills, you are leaving so much potential on the table. You are capable of so much more than that. I would rather you set a goal for aiming for $50,000 to $60,000 per month and then fail by only getting to 25 or 30K a month, because that means that you actually reach the peak of your skill rather than giving up because you got comfortable. I think that fear kills more success than failure ever will. So don't get too comfortable with your goals. Number 11, goals are only good for targets. Goals don't actually get you anywhere. So I talked a lot about goals in the past few points, and I think that goals are important for one purpose and one purpose only. Goals give you direction. They help you figure out where you want to go. They help you figure out what your top of the mountain actually is, what you're climbing towards, and why you're climbing towards it. But that's where it stops. That's where the benefits of goal setting stops. So stop obsessing over the goal itself and start thinking in systems instead. So instead of saying, I want to make 30K per month, I'm working towards 20K a month, whatever your goal is, instead ask yourself, what systems do I need to build to make 30K per month possible? Just chasing that number, just chasing 15, 20, 30K per month doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't give you clarity. So you have to take that big top of the mountain goal and reverse engineer it, reverse engineer that goal all the way down to the systems so that you can actually make progress up that mountain, right? The goal is your peak of the mountain. The systems are the steps up the mountain. Otherwise, if you're only chasing the goal, you're just trying to fulfill a fairy tale, and it's not very helpful for anything. Number 12, winning or being successful, whatever you want to call it, is extremely easy once you realize that there's really only two simple ways to get there. Winning or being successful can be achieved by either increasing your sacrifices or decreasing your desires. What I mean by this is, if you want less, if you lower your bar to success, it becomes much easier to achieve. Or if you work more, you work harder, you sacrifice more, it also becomes easier to achieve your goals. So it doesn't make sense to keep wanting something if you are not willing to do what it takes to get it. But it also doesn't make sense to settle for something that you don't want. So when it comes to setting your bar for success, choose wisely, because the wrong choice in either direction will lead to regret. Number 13, have patience with outcomes, but be ruthless and aggressive with action. Patience should not be a one-size-fits-all situations advice, because too many people become patient with everything in their life, in their business, including the shit that they know that they should be doing today, but they tell themselves that it's okay to do it tomorrow or next week or next month. If you just stop being patient with the actions that move you forward, the things that you know that you need to do today, it would propel you years ahead of the majority of your competition. Number 14, just make progress. Even if you are being ruthless with the actions that you know that you need to take, you're doing the right things every single day, it is probably still going to feel like you're moving very slow. Like you have an endless to-do list, like there's always more that you could be doing, there's always more that you could add to your to-do list, like there's always just something else that you could be doing that you're not doing. Even if you are taking ruthless action every day, it's going to feel like that way if you're that kind of person that takes ruthless action. So this is a reminder to those that are moving forward very quickly that you're doing enough, right? You don't need to build Rome in a day. Just be satisfied that you are laying bricks every day, and eventually you will get to your top of the mountain if you are the action taker that takes action very quickly and takes action aggressively and moving yourself forward in the right direction all the time. You will reach the top of your mountain eventually. You don't need to reach it today. Number 15, the hardest work that you will ever do is deciding what not to do. And that is difficult at every single level within business growth, just for different reasons. When you're new, it's going to feel like nothing is working. Like everything that you try fails, every test that you run flops. So you're constantly going to be looking for a new strategy or a new tactic or a new tool that you think is going to be this magic golden bullet that solves all your problems and makes you rich. It makes business feel like an easy path, right? But that doesn't exist. What you need to do to win in the early stages is focus. You focus on one thing and aim to do that one thing better than everyone else in the world. The only way to do that is by not getting distracted, by staying focused. And then as you progress through your business journey, that same thing becomes difficult just for different reasons. Once you're successful, you're going to get bored with doing the same things over and over again. So you're going to look for distractions to bring novelty into your business, or for new opportunities that might be more successful than what you're already successful at. But again, if you just focused, if you took the same amount of effort that it would take to put into multiple things or try new strategies, tools, whatever it might be, you took all the effort that you could possibly spend and you focused it on the one thing that you have chosen to do already, the one thing that you're already successful at, the main thing that you've already built becomes 10 times better, as opposed to you having 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that you're focusing on that are only going to get optimized to maybe 30% of their capability because you're so spread thin. So no matter what level you're at, focus is your superpower to propel you forward. Don't get distracted and don't let yourself get caught up in the things that you know that you should not be doing. Number 16, don't try to solve problems that don't exist yet. Whether you are building a new business from scratch or you're at the stage where you're scaling your business, your goal should always be to try to push every single part of the business at the same time moving forward until something breaks, until there's some sort of bottleneck somewhere that reveals itself, right? Then you attack and fix that problem while leaving everything else alone. And then you push everything again until something else breaks over here. Then you fix that problem and you keep pushing everything until your roadblocks and your bottlenecks reveal themselves. That is how you make progress in your business extremely quickly. And one of the main reasons that many people seem to move slowly or make slow progress is that they get caught up in trying to fix things that don't need attention right now. They see a system that could maybe be improved, that maybe isn't optimal, but it's still working, but they still try to fix it. They see a problem that might present itself in the future, but it's not the main thing right now, but they still try to fix the thing that is not important right now, right? So don't try to fix things until they actually break, until they become the bottleneck, because the fix that you think that you need right now might not be the actual solution that you need once the actual puzzle piece breaks in the future. So right now, trying to fix things that are not broken is most likely just wasting time. Number 17, simple scales, complex fails. I have made this mistake and got caught in this trap more times than I can count, and more times than I would like to admit over the past 8 years. And every time that I have tried a new complex funnel, added different steps, tried to add more friction through my lead process, trying to add additional systems that weren't necessary, it just gets worse results all the time, as opposed to just keeping things very, very, very simple. So right now, and for the past 2.5 to 3 years or so, my entire business model has been 5 simple systems. My daily actions that drive those systems forward are 5 simple tasks. I'll share them with you right now. It is post an Instagram story, post 1 Instagram feed post, send 1 email, make sure my clients are winning, and reply to any inbound DMs that I have. That's it. If I do those things on a daily basis, I know that my business is progressing forward. That's it. That has got me to multiple 6 figures twice now. And unless you're chasing 100K plus months, you don't need to do more than that either. That will get you where you want to go. Simplicity always wins. So whenever I do run into a roadblock, obstacle, some sort of issue in my business that needs to be solved, instead of trying to solve it in whatever is the most complex way, that might be the most obvious way, what I do is I step back and I say, what would this look like if it was easy? So I will almost always spend far more time thinking about how to keep it simple rather than actually doing the work. Because I know that if I just see a problem and I attack it right away in what seems like the obvious way, that might not be the easiest way, and it might end up wasting time or creating more complexity in my business than needs to be there. So taking a step back and spending more time on the thinking than the doing will most times result in quicker and faster progress through the growth of your business. Number 18, focus on systems and foundational principles rather than tricks, tactics, or strategies. We have to understand that what works today, as far as systems, strategies, funnels, tactics, social media platforms, ads, probably is not going to work in as little as 2 to 5 years, maybe even less. Now that AI has kind of come into the game, business and the way that business runs is progressing much, much, much faster than it ever has in the past. In the past year, the way that things operate in business has progressed far quicker than it has in like my previous 6 to 7 years of playing this whole business game as well. So we have to understand that no matter what tactics or strategies or systems are working right now, the foundational principles of business growth never change, right? And I see a lot of business gurus out there who only teach the tactics. They only teach the strategies that work right now instead of teaching all the foundational principles behind it. And I think it's because they want people to rely on them rather than helping people become self-reliant, right? But when they do this, they create businesses, they create business owners that are inevitably going to fail, where the business is going to stop working because the business owner doesn't understand the foundational principles behind the strategy. They just know what to do right now to move forward, but they don't know why doing this right now actually moves the business forward. And I truly believe that the why is more important than the what. And if you can understand that, you're not going to get stuck no matter what changes happen in the industry, in the economy, in tactics, strategies, whatever changes going forward. If you understand the foundational principles, the strategies and tactics and the tools don't matter because you'll always know how to make the next thing work, whatever it is, right? So find somebody that teaches you the why behind the what, someone that forces you to learn the boring foundational principles so that you will always be successful no matter what the future holds. Number 19, scaling only amplifies existing conditions. If your business feels heavy right now, if you are overworked, if your calendar is always full, if you're stressed all the time, and you don't want more of that, do not start scaling or do not scale further. You will not fix the problem. You will make the problem worse for yourself. So if your business is not operating or running the way that you want it to right now, that means it is built on the wrong foundation. It means that you chose the wrong business model. And right now, that's not the end of the world. Right? You can change your model. You can change your business model. You can build a new foundation right now, but do it before you scale, not after. Because the bigger your business gets, the higher you scale your business, the further you push things, the more difficult it's going to become to change the model or to change the foundation. The foundation or the model of your business must be intentionally chosen and designed based on what you want the peak of your mountain to look like. Not the other way around. You can't get to the top and then change the foundation. It doesn't work that way. Number 20, you do not need to hustle and grind 70 plus hours per week to get to multiple six figures, no matter what anybody else has told you. If you feel like you need to work insane amounts of hours to get almost anything done or to make any progress at all, it is a sign that you have no systems in your business or that your systems are broken. Working more and adding more things to your to-do list when you're not progressing is like putting a band-aid on a broken leg. It might help you mask the problem temporarily, but it's never ever going to fix the real issue. Fix your systems and you won't have to hustle and grind. Number 21, you have to break the idea or the mindset that your value is attached to or tied to the amount of hours that you work. Your real value as a coach is the results that you can get for your clients. It does not matter if it takes you 2 minutes or 2 years to get that result. Your value comes from the result, not the time that goes into it. If you can get somebody a result or a transformation or an outcome with little to no effort on your part, I think that means that you should be paid more, not less. So when you are selling coaching, consulting, stop selling the Zoom calls, stop selling the check-ins and the time you're going to spend with them and the accountability, and start selling the transformation, the outcome or the result, whatever that means for your ideal client. And then get that result for your clients in the easiest, quickest way possible and charge however the hell much you want, because the faster you can get it, the more that result should be worth to you and to them. Number 22. You do not need to be a master marketer or an A-list copywriter or the best salesman in the world to make hundreds of thousands of dollars to be wildly successful if you understand human psychology. In general, all humans basically think, act, and behave in very, very similar ways. No matter who they are, no matter where they're from, or whatever niche you're in, humans are humans. So you need to understand at the core of what makes humans tick, what makes humans act. And once you understand that, not only does it become easier for you to make money, but you become a better coach and you can help your clients get better results too. And if you deeply understand or know human psychology, it becomes almost impossible for you to lose in business. Number 23, different beats better every time. There is more competition now than there ever has been before. And next year, there will be even more competition than there is now in every market, in every niche across the board. And it does not mean that it's becoming more difficult to be successful. It just means that you need to find a new way to win. You can't beat the competition by being better anymore. There is only ever going to be there's only ever going to be one number one spot in every niche, every market across the board. And the chance of you becoming the best in somebody else's game is probably zero unless you have been in that game playing with everybody else for 20 plus years. But you can win almost easily by being different. If you can separate yourself from the competition by being unique or different or offering a new or different solution than everybody else, or even just saying the same thing in a different or unique way, you can still win. So instead of trying to be better than your competition, just try to be different from them. Instead of trying to win somebody else's game, try to figure out how you can play your own game. Number 24, marketing is just a fancy 9-letter word for test. Nobody out there, no matter what they will tell you, has all the answers. Nobody knows exactly what is going to work for you and what is not going to work for you. What might work amazingly well for 99.9% of businesses out there might completely flop for you or another person for a million different reasons. So everything that you do in business, every message that you put out there, every ad that you run, every piece of content that you post, every offer that you make, everything is just a test. It is a test to figure out what is going to work for you and for your audience and for your unique business. The foundational principles of business and growth and scaling never change, but the tactics and strategies that work for you and for your unique situation, for your business, are going to be, by definition, unique to you. And the only way to find that answer is through trial and error and accepting that you're probably going to have more flops than winners. And that's okay. Just keep testing. And as long as you keep testing, you will win. You will become a master at marketing because marketing is literally just figuring out what your audience responds to. That's it. And it requires testing to get there. Number 25, don't go with your gut. It will lie to you. Building a business, playing this whole game that we call business, is a very, very emotional journey. There will be a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and just as many failures as wins, and just as much frustration as celebration. And we as humans don't make the best decisions in any emotional state, good or bad. Emotion clouds our judgment, but numbers never lie. So use data to make decisions, which means that you need to be tracking your data. You need to know your numbers, which means your ad spend, your lead cost, your lead flow, your conversion rates, monthly profits, profit margins, lifetime value of your clients. All of that stuff matters, and you need to keep track of it because if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And if you can't manage your data, you're certainly not going to be able to manage your emotions and prevent yourself from making really stupid decisions. Number 26, the most important understanding that you will ever learn is the importance of cost of inaction. Most people tend to go through life only considering the cost to do something, the cost to make a change, the cost to get something. Almost nobody considers the cost of inaction. I've learned this lesson years ago when I used to do hundreds and hundreds of sales calls. I would ask people what their cost of inaction was. Like, what would happen to them if they don't make the change or if they don't make the commitment to change right now? And the majority of people I would speak to, almost nobody had an answer for that right away. almost nobody had even considered that in the past. And a lot of people I found don't even want to think about that. They don't even want to consider that or have that thought cross their mind. Most people would rather live in denial because it is easier to do nothing when you don't have to face the reality of your decisions. But we have to understand and accept that every decision has a cost. Whether that cost is time, energy, experiences missed, life not lived, happiness, health, or the cost of real dollars. Like if your goal is to make $25K a month, but right now you're stuck at $5K per month, then your cost of inaction is essentially losing or missing out on $20,000 every single month that you don't get the guidance or the coaching or the support that you need to reach your goals. That is your cost of inaction. So if you know and if you understand your cost of inaction, it helps you make better decisions and move faster. And if you know and understand the concept of cost of inaction, you can help your prospects understand their cost of inaction, which increases your conversions. And if you help your clients understand their cost of inaction, it helps them get better results. Everybody benefits from understanding cost of inaction. Number 27, information is cheap and almost not valuable these days, but the right perspective can be worth millions. So I'll share a little story with you. I think it was 2021, I was stuck around 12 to 14K per month, but I wanted to scale up. I wanted to reach 20K per month. So I paid a mentor $18,000 for a 12-month mastermind. It was not all at once. It was a payment plan over the 12 months. That was just like the total amount that I committed to paying. So after I joined, I logged into the classroom, the portal, the membership site, whatever you want to call it. And there was just mountains of lessons and modules and workshops. And at the time I was like, holy shit, this is going to be a game changer. This is an insane amount of value for this. I might have paid $18,000 for this, but holy shit, this is more information I will ever need. I'm going to be so rich when I consume all of this and I gain this knowledge and I can apply this stuff. It's going to make me so much money. That was my understanding of information at the time. So I dabbled in the videos in the classroom, the membership site for about a week or so. And then I had my first basically an onboarding call with my coach or my mentor. And he gave me one singular idea on that 60-minute call. That idea gave me clarity on where I was stuck, that I didn't see myself. And he gave me a game plan to scale through that roadblock. After that call, I got to work. I took action on that perspective change that he gave me. I never went back throughout the 12 months that I was in that mentorship program. I never went back to the portal with all the videos and lessons and all the information there. But the very next month after I joined, so month 2 of joining the mentorship, I hit $19,800 and something, right? Basically, I reached my 20K goal with that one idea that he gave me, right? So from that point, I understand the importance of perspective, right? Not the information. He didn't give me a million ideas on that call. He gave me one idea from his perspective, right? And that one idea got me from 12 to 14K up to 20K, almost 20K per month within 1 month's time period. A massive jump from one perspective, one idea shift. And I think it would have been month 10 or month 11 of that mentorship program. I hit my first ever 30K month as well, right? And that growth in that short time period was only possible because of the perspective shifts that I got from these 30 to 60 minute calls with my mentor, right? It was not from the mountains of information that I could have went through. That would have just been mental masturbation because that information, the knowledge, the videos, modules, it looks great. It feels good to consume that information, but taking that and being able to contextualize it to my situation and being able to discern what is a waste of time and what I should be focused on is very, very difficult to do on your own without perspective. Right? Perspective from somebody that has been through what you're going through now can be the difference between you staying stuck for another 6 months or a year or 2 years, or literally hitting your goal within the next month, right? That is the power of perspective. So I will always be the kind of person who will invest towards getting perspective rather than buying simple courses that are not necessarily going to move me forward, right? I want to save time. I want speed. And I know that the only way to get that is with perspective. Number 28. If you do not invest in yourself, you should never expect anybody else to invest in you. If you tend to get these same objections over and over and over and over again, like the same objection all the time,
It's very likely that it is because that is an objection that you give yourself, whether consciously or subconsciously. If you have or you hold a certain mindset or a certain philosophy, you will subconsciously project that way of thinking into your marketing and into your content and attract like-minded people that have that same way of thinking, that same mindset. So, for example, if you hold the belief or you tell yourself that you don't need help, you're just going to figure things out on your own, or maybe you always tell yourself that I need to think this through and make sure that I really need to make sure this is the right decision for me before I make a commitment, before I make a big decision. Or maybe you have told yourself in the past, now is not the right time to make a commitment. I'm going to wait until life slows down. It's very likely that you have heard that same objection many times as well from your prospects. They're going to tell you the same shit because you have projected that mindset, that philosophy into your messaging, into your content, into your offers, right? So if you hold those mindsets, those beliefs, don't be shocked when your prospects hold up the mirror to you and project those right back at you. Number 29, popularity isn't profit. Don't get caught up in the vanity metrics or let your ego pull you in the wrong direction. This is a mistake that I made multiple times in my previous business when my brand and my content started blowing up and I was going viral with almost every single post that I would make. There was a time period where I lost track of the goal, which was profit, which was growing the business. And I started chasing views and followers and likes and engagement, none of which helped the profits actually grow. In hindsight, it actually hurt the business. It actually made progress more difficult because I ended up having to waste a ton of time with bad fit leads who were never ever going to buy from me because the virality, the chasing the vanity metrics attracted the wrong people. So don't chase popularity unless your goal is to become a celebrity, which I don't think it is if you're watching this video. Number 30, don't ever forget your number one priority as a coach, which is your clients. I see a lot of coaches and businesses fail because the owner will obsess over sales and marketing just to get more people in the door and to collect more cash, but they forget about everybody that they've brought into the program, right? If your clients succeed, your business will succeed by default, automatically. If your clients do not succeed, nothing else matters. You could be the best salesperson or the best marketer in the world, but if your coaching program sucks and your clients hate it and they don't get the results that they were promised, your business will fail. Maybe not this month, maybe not next year, but eventually it will fail. Your lack of results and your client reputation will catch up to you eventually. But if you can get your clients amazing results, your coaching program will sell itself, both through the proof that you will develop and create, and also through referrals, right? So if you become an amazing coach, if you get your clients amazing results, you don't need to become the world's best salesperson or the world's best marketer. Because if you can get people amazing results, your clients of your program, they will tell the world about it and you will have the proof to sell people on your process. Number 31, the highest leverage and the most scalable aspect of any business is its brand. So your brand is simply what you are known for. And that includes your reputation, your client results, your personal skills, your philosophies, your associations, all that kind of stuff. As your brand recognition grows, it becomes much, much easier to scale. It'll like hockey stick your growth, right? When your brand grows, your engagement on social media increases, your audience growth speeds up, your marketing does the selling for you, your leads come to you pre-sold, your offers convert at a higher percentage, your clients stay longer, your clients renew more, your clients refer their friends and family more often. Your brand or your business, once you reach that level, it will feel like you have the cheat code to success. So do not neglect working on building your brand. Number 32, who you decide to work with is not as important as who you do not want to work with. I used to make the mistake of accepting anybody into my coaching program that had a credit card. And I learned the hard way that if you surround yourself with even just a few people that you hate working with, you will hate your business and coaching will become very miserable. This is probably the number one reason that I shut down my fitness coaching business. At the peak of my fitness business, I had 180 active clients. Active clients, not total. And I think I could probably count on one hand the number of those clients that I actually enjoyed working with. I got very good at marketing and sales, but I was not very good at setting boundaries or pushing away the wrong people. I made this mistake and I learned the hard way. So I want you to understand that your longevity in your business, if you want to play this game long term and stick with the clients that you're working with right now, be ruthless about who you do not allow into your world. If you can make the coaching process more enjoyable, if you love the people that you work with on a daily basis, you will want to stay in this game forever. So that is a mistake that I learned the hard way and something I'm being ruthless about now with this new business. I am I am pushing away the wrong people very aggressively and being very selective with who I allow into my world. I'm not going to make that mistake again, and I hope you don't either. Number 33, play long-term games with long-term people. So that is a quote from one of my favorite business people, Naval Ravikant. So I have found that over the years, my best clients, the ones that I actually did enjoy working with, have been the ones who have stayed with me for years. They played the long-term game with me. They made me the most money. They were the most enjoyable to work with. I became real friends with many of them, and they got the best results. So I will always incentivize long-term commitments for new clients. I will highly incentivize long-term renewals for current clients. I will give more access and more benefits to current clients if they commit to staying with me even longer than they committed to start off with. And I share all of that publicly so that it attracts the type of people that also have a long-term mindset as well, because I know that they will make business easier for me and that they will get better results, which benefits everybody. Number 34, if your brand, if your content, your marketing, your brand does not repel anybody, it is not going to attract the right people either. If with your messaging, you are not pissing people off every single day with your content, your messaging, your marketing, you're probably doing it wrong. Now, I'm not saying that you should be trying to rage bait people and just being controversial for controversy's sake. That is just going to make you a troll, and nobody likes a troll. But there has to be some things in your market or in your niche that the majority of people agree with that you disagree with. So it is your job to find those things and then scream them from the top of your lungs every single day. And doing that is going to attract a lot of hate and piss a lot of people off. And that is a good thing, because sharing that message that very few people agree with is going to pull in and attract the people and make some people, a very small percentage of that audience, fall in love with you and with your brand. So don't be scared to get some mean comments on your social media. Embrace them when they happen, because it means that you're on the right path, you're doing things right. Number 35, you win by staying in the game longer than everybody else. With the blow up of AI over the past couple of years, it is becoming easier and easier and easier to start a business. It is even becoming easier and easier to be mildly successful with online business, which means that there's going to be more competition than ever. But while it becomes easier and easier to start, humans as a whole have not changed. And I believe that winners win and losers lose. Some people are meant to win, some people are meant to lose. Some people are so stubborn that they will stick with it until they win, no matter what. But most people, the majority of the population, give up, quit, throw in the towel. They don't have what it takes to win. They get distracted with shiny object syndrome, and they fail for one reason or another before they have the chance to become wildly successful. Which means the longer that you can stay in the game, the less competition there's going to be, and the easier it's going to become for you to win. So it might be crowded at the bottom of the mountain, and it might even be a little bit crowded on the climb. But the top of the mountain is always going to stay very quiet. Number 36, failing quickly is the fastest path to success. Most people stop because of what I call micro failures. Micro failures are like not getting enough clients, not getting the audience growth that you wanted to see, not hitting your income goals, not growing as fast as you want, running a launch that flops, or doing a product or creating a product or an offer that didn't convert. Right? These are all micro failures. These aren't real failures, right? All those are lessons. They're data points. That's it. A macro failure, what I consider is like the only real failure, is when you give up or when you quit. But those micro failures, those lessons, are a good thing. With one condition. They're a good thing if you can learn from those lessons very quickly and you can turn around and you can get back on your feet and try again. Most successful people in any realm of business are the ones who have failed the most with the micro failures, and they've learned the most lessons in the shortest time period possible, right? And I think that when you reframe failure like this, it becomes a lot less scary, right? So you can take bigger risks, you can bet on yourself more, and when you can do that, you will win more often. And when you can win more often, you progress faster and you beat everybody else. Simple as that. Number 37, lastly, you don't need more information. You will learn faster and better by taking action, by failing, by running into problems, and then searching and solving problems yourself. Don't try to learn new things for the sake of learning, because it won't stick and it won't lead to any meaningful change in your business or your life. So I used to love reading every single business book that I could ever find. Clearly, right? But what I would find is that it was just mental masturbation. I would finish a book, put it back on the shelf, and then immediately grab the next one without taking any action on anything that I had learned in the previous book. Because what I would read wasn't applicable to the problems that I was actually running into on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis in my business. So there's nothing I could do with the information that I learned in that book. So now the shift that I've made is that I will only ever buy or read a business book if it is about a specific and narrow problem that I know that I need to solve right now. And this last lesson right here, number 37, it is about reading and collecting information. But the big picture lesson here, if we wanted to expand this, is that everything that you do should be done with intention and purpose. And really, if we go back and look through all 37 points I just went through, we could probably boil down every single one of those things to moving forward with intention and purpose. If you have clarity on what you're working towards, you know exactly why you're working towards that top of the mountain peak for yourself, and you're moving forward with intention and purpose, everything gets done correctly eventually, right? But if you do not have that intention with everything that you do, if you do not make choices with purpose, you're going to make stupid decisions. You're going to move in the wrong direction. You're going to go down the wrong path. But if you can learn to have clarity and keep the focus on that clarity, keep the focus on your top of the mountain, keep chasing towards that, and every single step that you make up that mountain is done with intention and purpose, you will become successful eventually, as long as you don't quit and give up. That is the big takeaway that I want you to have from this entire video here. I probably could have made this a 30-second video, but I don't think that you would have the understanding or the context to really realize the importance of that little sentence right there without the other 36 other points that I went through first. So we're going to use that as the summary statement for this video here. Move forward with purpose and intention with everything that you do, and you will become successful eventually.